Let's say you want your brain to focus or concentrate. A great way to do that is to send a signal on every one of your sensory pathways. That means your sense of sight, touch, sound, taste, and smell. Your sensory system is your only connection to the outside world, and it's pretty powerful.
Welcome to this classic episode of Spartan Up. Today, we're talking about focus. How can you improve your focus? It's one of the most searched topics on the internet. Today, we're bringing you 10 tips to improve your focus from 3 different experts. We have Louisa Nicola, founder of Neuroathletics. We have Tim Ferris, author of the classic 5-Hour Workweek. And finally, Dr. Nada Milosavljevic. This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by USANA Health Sciences, driven to innovate and advance the science of nutrition. Visit USANA.com to learn more about their incredible selection of nutritional supplements and healthy lifestyle products. Tip number 1, focus endurance. Louisa Nicola shows Joe DeSena a test that you can use to assess your own focus endurance.
I'd love to show you a focus endurance and a reaction kind of drill that we do.
So that's an interesting point, this focus endurance thing. So,
Yes.
so aren't they synonymous? Like, in other words, if you're good at endurance, if you're going for long periods of time, aren't you automatically focused? Or
No, because that's physical endurance. That's cardiovascular endurance. So it means you can run, and that's what a lot of triathletes have. But what are you focusing on the entire time? And I know for me, when I was doing that, it was very hard to just keep focusing eye on the prize, because you think about, oh, my hip's hurting, my hip's hurting, my hip's hurting, my hip's hurting. Oh my gosh,
That's a negative thought.
Yeah.
Right.
So how do you increase focus endurance? And it's not just for athletes. Everyone needs to increase their focus.
Sure. My mother used to meditate back in the 70s, I remember, for days.
What?
Days. Fasting and meditating and sitting in the room. And so I guess you're right. If you could, like, that would be the hardest thing for me to do, ever, would be to sit still.
Really?
That's impossible for me. Not impossible, it would be very hard.
Yeah.
But if you can become good at that,
Yes.
then it'd be easy to do.
If you can become good at that, everything else will become good.
Right.
You become good at everything else.
Let's practice. What are we going to do?
So why don't we do, first of all, we'll do a focus endurance test that I made up, and we'll have a go.
Have you ever tested anybody else?
Yes, we test all our athletes.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. What are we doing? I'm probably going to fail this test. I'm letting the audience know in advance.
So basically this test is,
Yep.
I'm going to give you a photo.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to get you to look at the photo. I'm going to get you to visualize it. Then I'm going to time you. Okay, you're going to close your eyes.
Yep.
You're going to keep your hands here.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Not right now. And every time I want you to have that photo in your head. Every time it leaves your head, I want you to tap your right leg.
Got it.
Okay, we're only going to go for a minute.
All right.
Okay.
1 minute.
Now this is the photo, and this is the photo I'll give everyone because everyone knows it.
Got it.
Okay? Mickey Mouse. It's a Mickey Mouse photo. You know what it looks like.
You're
It's
out
yellow.
there and you're listening or watching, think of Mickey Mouse and test yourself.
Yes. So you visualize it here. Okay?
I got him.
All right, now I'm going to open up my clock.
So even if I think of Minnie for a minute.
Anything else.
Anything but Mickey.
You're going to go like this with your right leg. Okay, and I'm going to time you. Ready? Close your eyes. Okay, go.
We got to start over.
Oh, no!
So impressed. I was like, wow.
The reason we got to start
21
over.
seconds.
The reason we got to start over is because I kept repeating Mickey in my head and I don't know if that's allowed. Like, should I only be thinking of the image because I just kept saying Mickey, 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 Mickey? Is that
You've got to only think of the image.
only the image? All right, so I failed.
I'm going to count that as, Let's reset. Okay, ready. Let's.
All right. So I'm only seeing the image.
Only seeing the image. Ready? No hands. Yep. Okay, go.
I don't know. I think I I'm doing it.
Guys, this is a perfect example of where focus endurance is not
because I'm like, there's no way. My mind is saying, there's no way. I'm like, I don't know. I need help.
Yeah.
I need help.
You're going to practice that. Okay?
I'm going to tell you something. I have massive ADD, but it's a gift because if let's say Marion was to give me bad news, oh my God, the camera broke. Within 4 seconds, I'm like, what was I just upset about?
So you come, okay.
I'm just always on to the next thing and just always happy for that reason.
I like that.
So,
okay.
yeah.
But there you go. There's a perfect
I need
example of
work.
how to increase
Yeah.
your. And we do, like, obviously we do other tests which are more science-based, but that's just a nice light one people can do at home.
Yeah.
Next, efficiency and productivity expert Tim Ferris with 4 more focus and productivity tips. 1, keep your list small. 2, set time aside for making tasks and for managing tasks. 3, journal both your objectives and the attributes that you want for the day. And 4, include small satisfying tasks, he calls them Scooby snacks, to gain momentum.
You a big list guy? You pull out like a yellow pad?
I am a big list guy, and the problematic adjective there is big. So I like to just get a small piece of paper about that big or a small index card folded over so that I have a finite amount of space. And so I really try to narrow it down to 1 or 2 key things per day that I'm going to focus on. And usually my day is split. There's a great essay by Paul Graham, who founded Y Combinator. One of the founders of Y Combinator, which is a really innovative, I guess you could call it, venture incubator here in Silicon Valley. And he wrote an essay called The Maker's versus the Manager's Schedule, and how if you're a maker, you have to block out 3 to 4 hour, say, periods of time that are uninterrupted. And I try to make the first half of my day the creative maker portion up until lunch, and then after that I can do kind of the half-hour calls, the hour-long meetings, and so on for management. And I find breaking it up that way is very helpful.
That's why I can only get you in the afternoon.
That's right.
In the morning you're being creative. Do you
And grumpy.
And grumpy. Do you the night before? Do you plan out that next day, or when you wake up?
I try to do it the day before, and I have a journaling practice. So I have a journal. You can actually just buy this on Amazon or anywhere else, called the 5-minute journal. So I do a few minutes in the morning, and then a few minutes at night, just before bed, to review the day. So I spec out, say, the 2 or 3 key objectives, the 2 or 3 key attributes that I want to exemplify for that day. Whether it's, one that I write down a lot is unrushed, just feeling unrushed. And you can still be quick, but there's a difference between being quick and feeling rushed. And then doing sort of a post-game analysis each night. It only takes a couple of minutes. So I do that pretty much every day. I'd say that's definitely one of my rituals.
So with me, I don't know if you find this, but whether I write the notes down or not, there are things that I need to tackle,
Yeah.
but I subconsciously just don't want to deal with it.
Of course.
That happened to you?
Happens to everybody. Yeah, well, I shouldn't say that. It happens to me all the time.
Right.
And this morning was a good example, actually. There's just like this one gnarly project, and it involves a lot of paperwork and legal stuff, and I was just like, ah. And what I find is I give myself just a little like Scooby snack first thing. So I have 1 or 2 things typically in the morning before I get into that most gnarly task that are fun. They're fun items. So for instance, I'm trying to learn a new type of drum, and so I just took 2 minutes to set up a lesson for that drumming session. And I was like, okay, Scooby snack, now I need to go into the salt mines to deal with this project. And I think when in doubt, if you don't know what's important, the thing that you least want to do is probably the one.
Yeah. No, and so that's something I guess I need to do. And so you mix on your little tiny list.
Yep.
Big list, but written in a little, right? You've got some Scooby snacks in there with the salt mine.
First thing, yeah. First thing in the morning, just a handful of really fast, say, scheduling. I have a trip that I want to take to South America that's going to be pretty extended, and I'm excited to block that out on the calendar. So I did a little bit of orchestrating for that. And then I will either also, my general morning routine, wake up, let's just say ideally that's somewhere between 6:30 and 7:30. I'm terrible at waking up early, but for me that's early. And then I will meditate first thing for 15 to 20 minutes, usually just repeating a sound or a word. And then brew tea, sit down, turn on music, which is usually a Pandora station. Like I'm listening to a lot of Brazilian, just kind of chill samba or bossa nova stuff right now, which puts me in a pretty good mood. Do the 5-minute journal, then exercise if I have the time blocked out that morning, which is usually just a series of sort of mobility exercises, like overhead squat type movements. Yeah. Then get into the creative stuff, like I mentioned, up until lunch, which is usually going to be some type of writing, podcast related, whatever that might be, some type of creative synthesis, and then on I go. But the Scooby snacks are laid out right up front.
We'll be right back to this interview, but first, a little bit from today's sponsor, USANA Health Sciences. USANA creates premium nutritional products built on one simple idea: If you feed the cells in your body exactly what they need, your overall health and well-being will benefit. When paired with a balanced diet and regular exercise, taking high-quality vitamin and mineral supplements goes a long way to support your healthy goals. USANA products are developed, engineered, and tested by scientists. They're made with the purest ingredients, and they're manufactured in facilities that operate at pharmaceutical levels, above and beyond what's required by law for dietary supplements. With 30 years of experience, USANA has stood the test of time. Thousands of elite athletes trust their health to USANA more than any other supplement company. Discover the difference at USANA.com. That's USANA.com. The last 5 tips for your focus come from Dr. Nada, and they hit each of the 5: sight, touch, sound, taste, and smell.
Let's say you want your brain to focus or concentrate. A great way to do that is to send a signal on every one of your sensory pathways. That means your sense of sight, touch, sound, taste, and smell. Your sensory system is your only connection to the outside world, and it's pretty powerful. It works 24/7, and it sends signals to your brain, and you're deciding often subconsciously if it's a positive or negative stimulus, and your body and mind respond accordingly. So being in tune and mindful of your sensory system can carry you a long way to better focus and getting your game face on. So what do? We're going to start with sight. Now this first one is both sight, but it's also something physical. It's a yoga pose called tree pose. The challenge of tree pose is maintaining your balance on one leg. Unlike most poses, this one requires your eyes to be open, and it helps cultivate focus. Select a point for your gaze and hold it, and that'll help alignment of your posture. When you practice it, it helps to imagine your body as a tree, and the foot that you're balanced on are the roots, and your leg is the trunk. Regular practice of this pose improves concentration, balance, and coordination. The next sense, touch. Your sense of touch can be engaged with acupressure. Acupressure, not like acupuncture, doesn't need needles, but instead it stimulates, according to TCM, that's traditional Chinese medicine, certain active point locations on the body that can elicit a response, such as improved focus. There's a number of points you can use, but here's an easy one. It's called governing vessel, or GV20. It's on the crown of your head, between the cranial bones. Find the point or line between your 2 ears and go right up to the top of your head. And where you meet, there's a slight hollow, and that's GV20. Gently rub or stimulate the point for a minute or 2, and that can be repeated as needed. Your next sense is sound. Sound in music can be powerful. The types of music to listen to aid concentration are usually songs with smooth melodies and peaceful harmony with minimal lyrics, and are the types of sounds that will help calm the mind and allow the brain to focus. Your next sense, taste. This is going to be a tea blend, both green tea and ginseng, and they help with focus. You can use one or the other, or combine the two for an extra punch. Green tea has a relatively low amount of caffeine, but enough that's coupled with another compound called L-theanine. These two together help calm but focus your brain. Another option, or a great addition, is ginseng. This herb has several different types, and it's the Panax ginseng that can help improve working memory and focus. Last up, your sense of smell. Your sense of smell, also known as olfaction, offers one of the most direct sensory connections to the brain. So for this sense, when I talk about aromatherapy for your sense of smell, I'm talking about the actual herbs in the form of essential oil, not synthetic mimics. 2 to try: rosemary and basil. Inhaling the scent of these herbs have a stimulatory effect on the brain and can be uplifting. You only need to inhale for 1 to 2 minutes. You can repeat several times throughout the day for a quick boost. Okay, lots of stuff covered here, so let me give you a quick review of key points for each sense that can be treated. First, your sense of sight, tree pose. 2, your sense of touch, acupressure point, GV20. 3, sound, minimal lyrics, peaceful harmony, pick something you enjoy. 4, taste, green tea and/or ginseng. 5, your sense of smell, rosemary and basil. Now, get in touch with your sensory system, and you'll be amazed at how you get in tune and in sync with your body and mind.
Thanks for listening to this classic episode, a quick review of the 10 tips for your focus. Practice your focus endurance. 2, Keep your list small. 3. Set aside time for making tasks and for managing tasks. 4. Journal both your objectives and the attributes for the day. 5. Include small, satisfying tasks, what Tim Ferris calls Scooby snacks, to gain momentum in the day. And finally, the last 5, use each of the 5 sensory pathways to trigger greater focus: sight, touch, sound, taste, and smell. This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by USANA Health Sciences, driven to innovate and advance the science of nutrition. Visit USANA.com to learn more about their incredible selection of nutritional supplements and healthy lifestyle products.